think we're live. It said we're going live, and I see this minute countdown. It was like, I had to pause my. Whoa. Okay. Are we live?
We're live.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you for joining us on this lovely 9 a.m. for most of us. I know Thomas is at, is it a 6 a.m.?
It's a beautiful 6 a.m.
Beautiful, and you look beautiful at 6 a.m.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We'll wait another 30 seconds or so to let people hop into the room. I know we're streaming on a variety of platforms. So thank you for taking a few minutes of your day to join us. I can promise everyone listening one thing, that you will walk away with something valuable that you could begin implementing today. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fast paced. We're going to be chatting for, roughly 45 to 60 minutes. I have a list of, about 15 questions in front of me. We'll try and get to most of them. And that's really it. So grab your coffee, grab your overnight oats, which seems to be trending lately. And get ready to have a fun time and learn a few things. So, what we could maybe do, let's hop into some quick introductions right now. So I also don't want to punish the people that joined us on time. So who are these wonderful people joining me this morning? So let's start with, I'm just going to go, that's in a circle here. Tanae White, tell the audience who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanae, as Eric just said, and I am the social media manager here at Triplemint.
Wow, short and sweet. She's very highly experienced in the social media world, and you'll see her share wonderful things with all of you, how she's built her audience over the years, and I think there'll be a lot of relatable takeaways. Shelly Wang.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shelly. I am the VP of Marketing here at Triplemint. Prior to Triplemint, I've had about 20 years of experience working on technology, lifestyle, and luxury brands, overseeing the brand side, the social media side, as well as the growth marketing side. So really excited to be here and share some of my experiences and learnings with you.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Shelly, I know she doesn't want to brag too much about herself, but coming from the likes of Godiva and Jim Pass and some very large brands, it's nice to take an outside approach from the real estate bubble that most of us live in. So thank you for taking the time this morning. And last but not least, Thomas Suarez joining us from the West Coast. Who are you?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Thomas. I'm the VP of Strategy and co-founder at Social Q Agency, a small boutique digital agency based in New York. My background is about 10 to 11 years in digital advertising. I actually started in experiential media, doing events for a lot of big brands like P&G, Gillette, Coca-Cola, even Spotify when they first kicked off. And then I kind of moved into the startup space for the last roughly 8 years. So I'm used to working with a lot of smaller businesses, really looking to start off their social media presence. So really excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm Eric Barron. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Triplemint. I have been coaching and training real estate professionals since the late 90s. I know how you think. I know what you need, and I'm obsessed with ensuring that you leave here today with value. So let's get started. First question is actually, where do I start, right? Many agents don't get started because they don't know where to start. So when agents talk about, instead of just randomly posting, is there a strategy? What questions should I be asking myself? Where do I get started? So who would like to jump in and lead off today's session?
I can go ahead and jump in. I would say from a social media perspective, a lot of planning comes from research. So if you are in the real estate market, look at your competitors, whether it be, a fellow agent, in the same company as you or in a competing company. What are they doing? How is it resonating with their audience? Is it successful? Do they get a lot of comments? Is it really engaging? Do you find yourself intrigued by the content that they're sharing? I think that's a great gem. I think that people just sort of think you're jumping into like a lagoon without any type of, direction, but there's so many resources you can pull by just looking at what your competitors are doing. Also, follow hashtags, hashtag real estate, hashtag housing, hashtag rental property, and see what people are doing or saying around those hashtags as well. I feel like there's a lot of easy ways to pull ideas that you can then, develop into a plan for your own brand, whether it be you specializing in multi-million-dollar homes or in, rental properties, or even, let's say, if you're a dog walker and you want to, sell your, dog walking skills. There's always a way to go about it. And then as time progresses and you see how your audience is engaging with your content, you can then re-strategize and, keep pushing forward that way.
Don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
That's like what I heard you saying, right? You don't need to start from scratch. We overcomplicate things, right? It's great. Great advice today.
I would agree with that, Tanae. I was going to say my answer would probably be very similar for a lot of these. I think in addition to that, starting with what you're good at is really important. We talk a lot about authenticity and in social media, and it's definitely an overused word, but it's kind of like if you're switching careers, if you're thinking about starting something new, just writing down on paper, what is it that So for, instance, I'm not fully in the real estate business, but if you're really good at staging houses, or if you're really good at, offering up tips for, filling out forms for a new rental, or if all the differences between, different types of properties that are out there, or the different neighborhoods that, you're featuring or focusing on, think about what you're good at and really get that down on paper, and then just don't be afraid to start. Sometimes it's just about getting content out there into the world. Social media sometimes is considered unforgiving, but that's really about how you talk and how you communicate. And if you're honestly a good, authentic person, if your message is, if it's real, if it's not forced, if it's really just you can craft it over time. So kind of like Tanae was saying, you see how people resonate with it. You see how they comment back, and then that gives you an inkling of where to go. So I think like starting at home is also really a good way to begin.
Can we stay with hashtags for a second? What specifically? Let's use an example. I'm starting out and I want to create, and I want to figure out my positioning in the marketplace, what to say, what's currently being said. So I want to make sure I heard you and I understood you today. You're following hashtags with the purpose of what specifically?
Hashtags serve as a way to funnel specific content. So if you're looking for hashtag McDonald's, hashtag French fries, hashtag burgers, it's a great way to, specify what you're seeking. Hashtags, as you guys know, go a long way. It helps people to see your content who may not have necessarily seen it before. It also helps you to boost yourself in the algorithm. So it's extremely helpful. I would say on any post, no matter what the platform is, always use hashtags, no matter if it's just 2 or 6. But I think from a strategy perspective, it's like I said, it's a great way to research as well. And you sort of can view other content that are using, let's say you use the hashtag real estate, and then you go to the landing page where they have all of the hashtags with that word, and then you click on post and you see that another person actually also used hashtag brokerage, and then you go into that and you see they also use hashtag rental. It's a great way to understand your audience, see what they're engaging with, and I guess make sure that you're gaining the most visibility possible for yourself and your brand.
So when you're saying where do I start, right? If I'm if I hashtag Upper West Side condos, or whatever that may be, right? Follow that hashtag, see what the conversations are around that hashtag, right? And you then could almost create the food that you're feeding the audience, right?
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people see others hashtagging very general terms like hashtag New York or hashtag NYC. Try to stay away from those because they tend to populate millions and millions of results. And you really want to find your niche within that market.
Yeah, one helpful tip is really just spending 5 or 10 minutes looking at other hashtags that maybe someone you admire in the industry uses and follows, and then writing down all those hashtags, searching those hashtags to see if that's the kind of content you want to be affiliated with. And then you can also see the volume of searches or the volume of people using that hashtag. You obviously don't want to go like for 1 million for those like with million plus, because it's really hard to rank high in that. But you also don't want to use one that only has like 10 hashtags, because chances are people are not organically searching for that.
Okay. So now I feel like we kind of took a little pivot into like content, right? You're doing all this research, you're asking all these questions to figure out what to say. And I think most people either don't get started in this, or even probably more likely don't post consistently because of, what do I say? So how does an agent, I know we've already kind of dabbled in this, how do we start expanding on this conversation into content strategy? Who wants to jump with that?
I can get started, and I'd love Thomas and Tanae to add to it. So I feel pretty strongly about this, because I think a lot of people believe that you have to be very professional or polished with their content, and people spend a lot of time scrutinizing what they're about to send out, and you end up just kind of like giving up on it, or maybe not following through. And as Thomas was saying earlier, a lot of it is just, you got to get started. So my best advice is really finding 3 to 5 topics or categories that you want to be an expert in and talk a lot about. So for example, people would follow you as a real estate agent because of 2 things: business and personal. So from a business side, they care about credibility, they care about knowledge, they care about your local market affiliation. From a personal side, they want to know that you're relatable, that you're human, and you have hobbies, right? So if you also are a wine sommelier, put content about that. If you have kids or you have a really cute puppy, put out content about that. That's super easy to do. And it helps people see their broker as someone who is not just like, a person doing business and trying to win my business. They see you as someone who's human. On the other hand, balancing that with some business aspects of, okay, here are some deals that I've recently done, so that people know that, okay, so-and-so is working in the, $1 million category. I feel comfortable putting my house in their hands, right? But what's really important to know is that if your feed is all about that, you kind of become the friend who just talks about themselves all the time, and then people start unfollowing you because they don't want to hear about someone who's bragging all the time. So you really got to balance out what these 3 to 5 topics are, and then any kind of insights you can give them about local knowledge, like things that are happening in New York City, or really cool insights about apartments to look for, and like what kind of pitfalls people make. All of that is really relevant for your buyers and sellers.
It's funny, I say always that you're not just a specific real estate resource, because real estate touches everything, right? Real estate touches community, real estate touches, schools, real estate touches local shops and businesses. I mean, that make up that neighborhood. So you need to be a resource, so much more so than just what's happening in the real estate world in those particular neighborhoods that you're an expert in. Thomas and Tanae, let's add some of the content thought here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in kind of relation to what Shelley said, I've always been told the 80-20 rule, kind of, if you want to quantify it a little bit, like 80% can be about what you do and this, like, the expertise that you have. 20% can be kind of, the additional parts of your life and who you are and your personality and all of that. And your personality should also shine through everything. I think there's an interesting balance between when you bring yourself to the table, that's when people can gravitate towards you. You get followers. That's good visibility. Obviously, for agents, they're concerned about buyers or renters or whoever they're trying to find in terms of clients. Not all of your people are going to be obviously clients. Not everyone who follows you is going to be a client, but they're going to want to see that you have a certain level of visibility and personality that's coming through. It's all good for you at the end of the day. It's all press, right? So seeing that number go up, seeing your followers at a certain level is great. But I would actually say consistent content in terms of like bringing your personality to the table is way more important, because anyone, you can buy followers, you can grow followers. These days, it's actually really difficult to get followers. I think when you have like Shelly said, 5 topics that you always bring to the table or sort of talk about or discuss on an ongoing basis, that consistency is so much more important. And even if the quality wavers and it goes up and down, et cetera, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's just about you showing up. If you're going to post on a Wednesday, post the next Wednesday and bring something else to the table. And the last thing I would say, just as far as a content type, if we want to go there, their Instagram will give priority to certain types of content. They're always bringing out new products. It's good to just keep a pulse on what's up, what's new. Things like right now, Reels is a big deal. People are using Reels in different ways. 30 seconds, I believe, max. Today, you can keep me honest about that. But as far as sharing content, it's simple, it's quick hit, and then you can also cross promote that across other platforms. So if you're on a TikTok or if you're on even like a Snapchat, the format is roughly the same. You can cross post across all those platforms. You don't have to worry about it, tailoring it to each platform. You just click post, and you're immediately visible across multiple platforms, which again can be scary. But in the world of just like starting and like short form content, show your face, just talk about who you are.
And I know Tanae wants to hop in here. I want to pose an add-on or a question, because we talk about content, we talk about 80-20 rule, we talk about show your personality. Are we talking about how authentic is someone allowed to be? Everyone's so nervous, right, about how they look, what they sound like. I always say what you put out, you will attract. So be conscious of, you have the right to choose, particularly from a real estate perspective, I hate to say it like this, but which buyers, sellers, and renters you want to work with. Because there are some clients we simply don't want to work with. So when I say if you are concentrating on putting out specific content to attract an audience, you will live a much happier and healthier real estate existence. So can we talk a little bit about, and I know I don't mean to interrupt you today, because I love what you have to say about content and strategy, but about authenticity, about putting yourself out there. When is it too much? Is there, if you're being authentic, is there such thing as too much? So I'll shut up, Tanae.
I think that's a great question. Even me as an influencer on this side, I battle with that question as well, especially in the field of fashion. We see a lot of cool girls who don't say much and they have one-word captions. And then we also have, hilarious women who crack jokes and that's how they get their engagement. I think it really just goes back to what you want to be known for. If people in your inner circles know you as the hilarious guy, bring that to life in your Instagram. Don't be that mysterious guy. It's not going to work for you because people know you as the funny guy. And when people come up to you after seeing you on social media, they're going to be like, wow, I didn't realize you're this funny, huh? And that is a key for you to take advantage of it, leverage it, start making funnier content, maybe make a joke Thursday, your own little theme. Like there's so many opportunities to bring your personality to life and sort of merge it with, your brand as a real estate agent. Even when it comes to, types of content, which you sort of just mentioned, video is so important now. Actually, the head of Instagram actually just said a couple of months ago that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform, but a video sharing platform. So they're pushing Reels into their algorithm more than ever, IGTV more than ever. And like Thomas said, you can actually transfer that and cross post across TikTok so easily, so seamlessly. So sort of leverage the opportunity to really show your personality through video as a high priority strategy.
It's funny because for many people, when they're looking for real estate knowledge, the consumer, it's overwhelming, right? There's so much information out there. So you could actually blend the two, right? I mean, not to make light and joke about real estate, but you can take a lighter approach to all the real estate jargon out there to show like, oh my God, it'll be fun, because really it'll be fun working with that person, because many consumers actually look for that. Obviously, knowledge is very, very important, but if it's presented in if you're not all about market reports and data, don't go there. You don't need to go there. You can take a little bit of a lighter approach to this and say, hey, don't be overwhelmed. We just need to get started looking at property, because you shouldn't be renting anymore. So this should not be overwhelming. And based upon my personality style, I will make sure that, it's presented in a manner, right, that you can consume and is digestible to the consumer. So once again, I love the idea of, because people hear funny, like I can't be funny, no one's going to take me seriously. That's not true. We've seen many real estate agents hopping on TikTok right now, right, in their listings. And we say that's ridiculous, yet it attracts the consumers they want to attract. So talk more about anybody, about specific types of content and where do I start? What do I say? How do I create a content strategy for myself? Thomas, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, not to sound repetitive, but I think that, with real estate specifically, you want to be the one person that people want to work with, right? I mean, ultimately, you're going to be their confidant. You're going to be that person's best friend, So again, if you start with what you're good at, and kind of like Shelly was saying, I love things in threes. So I would usually start with like 3 pillars of me. What are the 3 things that I am like really good at? 3 is a manageable number. And it can kind of be, go traverse from like your real estate knowledge. What is the first thing that you are really, that inside and out about real estate, about your market, or about your thing as an agent? That can be one. The next thing can be something personal about you and, what your family life or hobby or, a skill that you have that no one would have known about, et cetera. And then the last thing can just be, kind of a general category or just, anything else that you kind of want to share. But I think if you just have 3 categories sort of down, it at least gives you a framework for where to start. And then as far as, coming out of that, you can go deep and start to write things out and say, okay, I'm going to post these types of things, et cetera. Like kind of like Tanae was saying, Joke Thursday. I think a great way to begin is just to have at least one thing. Just start with one thing that that you can do consistently. So if it's like, your Crush Wednesday or whatever, like, if you just want to like jump in on that hashtag or Throwback Thursday or something, anything that just is easy enough for you to just get started, that simplifies things. And then your content strategy can also build off of that, because you're going to see how people talk to you. People are going to be commenting on your posts. Ideally, they're going to be messaging you, and people may also ask you for certain types of content once you start posting. That also starts to help kind of flesh out what you need or what you want to create, because again, you're an agent, you're looking for people to engage with you. So also respond to your community, but don't feel like you have to ultimately be everywhere and do everything. Just start with, one thing.
God, you opened up like Pandora's box, like the next 7 questions. No, but I even like what you just said, because the framework, right? Things come in 3s. It could be your 3 favorite restaurants on the Upper West Side, right? Mm-hmm. It could be your 3 favorite properties this week that newly came to the market. So even just starting and creating a frame, because once again, they don't know where to start. So I even just love, framing things in 3s.
Yeah. Can I actually add one more thing to that, Eric, because you made me think about it? Because we as an agency on my end, we're working with a lot of different brands. We work with Triplemint. We're creating strategies at a deeper level, in a sense, for companies. But that strategy, especially for you as a agent, if you work for a specific brokerage, like look at what they're doing. You can also mirror what they're doing to an extent if they have certain types of content that they're putting out there. For instance, with Triplemint, we talk about neighborhoods as an aspect, community. We talk about our agents and their personality as part of the kind of our pillars, and then we talk about specific properties. So like that's already 3 things that you as yourself can take on, and you can also mirror. Sometimes it's also helpful to mirror the parent, I guess, company or the agency or brokerage that you work for. That's also a great place to start.
And a lot of times, for example, at Triplemint, our marketing team provides a lot of these social media content assets for agents to be able to share. We write regular blog posts. We create a lot of event guides, and we're creating some neighborhood guides soon. And a lot of this kind of content can be easily borrowed and plugged into your own content strategy. So it's, when you feel overwhelmed about like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I have to like hold my camera and start filming things, and that's so stressful for me. Just be aware that there's a lot of content already out there that you can leverage and borrow. And the easiest way is to think about what Thomas said. I have these 3 pillars. So for these 3 pillars, I'm going to talk about community. I'm going to talk about my expertise on the Upper West Side, and I'm going to talk about my personal hobby in, fly fishing, right? And so fly fishing, you're on your own. Triplemint can't help you create that. But for the other 2, there's a ton of community assets out there that you can borrow. And there's probably a lot of insights on the Upper West Side or the neighborhood guide that you can also plug in. And so to put these 3 categories, on a spreadsheet somewhere, and literally just add under these columns everything that you can think of, and then set a consistent schedule of when you want to put this content out. And that should make it less overwhelming.
Right, organic versus shareable content, right? There's a ton of shareable assets out there. You give other people credit and a shout out, and even maybe give an opinion, right? People want to work with an agent that has an opinion. Don't just share it and say, hey, what I love most about this is, right? I mean, that's important. So I love that, right? Just to kind of not make this overwhelming. You don't have to create everything from scratch. That's a great point, Shelley. A great point. Tanae, did you want to add something? I felt like I interrupted you before.
I think they covered it all.
Sure. Someone posed a question, and I think maybe we should just touch on it quickly about when you look at, right, when everyone does their research, we started the conversation today as, hey, look at other people, that are doing this. That could be a little bit intimidating, right? How they look, what they wear. Everybody thinks, from looking at social media, everybody else's life is perfect, which we know it's not. So, looking at others can be overwhelming. When we talk about, because we're in sales, right? And people, look, feel, image versus quality content. It can be intimidating. What do you say to those people about promoting their lifestyle, their physical look, the car they're driving, versus actually providing, I hate to say it like this, real value to the buyer, seller, or renter?
I can take that one. Yeah. I would say that when it comes to social media, things sort of just get blended in together. Oh, you live in $1 million mansion. That must mean you are a really successful agent. Or, oh, you dress really nice. That must mean that, you come from a lap of luxury. As humans, we just tend to associate one with the other. And I think that in real estate, as we've seen on TV with, popular real estate shows, they sort of do go hand in hand. When you go to, present a house or a unit, you dress your best, to, help in facilitating, engagement with the buyers who visit. So I understand that there is that pressure to, look your best, show a certain lifestyle, and, sort of relate it back to what you do as a real estate agent. However, it's not necessarily the most important thing by any means. And I can't speak too much about real estate because I'm not familiar. Yeah, I've only been here 2 days. But I would say from a strategic social media standpoint, it's truly about what you think the buyer wants to see, not necessarily about what you want to present regarding yourself. The buyer wants to see how nice your toilets are. Do you have a walk-in closet? What's the backyard look like? Do you have a garage? And we want to see those. And again, with video, we have the opportunity to share that. Showing a layout, a walkthrough, maybe first person style of the property is an amazing way to do it. If you want to be in front of the camera in your nice, Gucci outfit, showing the property, that's great as well. But at the end of the day, keep in mind that the buyer is the focus, not necessarily, you.
Well, no, hey, let's be honest. Whether we like it or not, right? Those things matter, right? We dress to impress. We look the part. We act as if. And particularly, if we're selling luxury real estate in New York City, birds of a feather, and they want to work with someone that at a minimum gives the appearance, of that lifestyle.
It reflects your quality of work too, as you just said. If you're showing up to listings in sweats, like, what does that say about your work ethic? So it definitely has some type of importance, but it's just remember to keep the buyer in mind and what they want to see most top of head.
Yeah, I really agree with this. And, I don't think it's kind of like a black and white or either or kind of situation. I think agents who promote their physical look and agents who promote what they do can both be successful depending on what kind of buyers and sellers you want to attract or what kind of people are already in your circle. Because what Tanae was just saying, some people might like an agent who shows them a house in sweats. I don't know. Maybe some people think that this makes them very down to earth and, they like the quirkiness and they love that. And that has no bearing in terms of their negotiation skills. That's okay. And some buyers, they really like agents who are super well dressed. And maybe there are even some people who will say, hey, I specifically wanted you because I really like how you dress. And that speaks to your design sensibility, et cetera. And I just implicitly trust you. And that's okay too. But it's really about knowing your audience and being in tune with that.
At the same token, I think it's also about being authentic, right? Because you're not going to connect with everybody. And, if you drive a scooter around the city and that's your brand, you're going to attract people that are like, oh my God, that's really cool. And you'll talk about that scooter for a half hour, right? And real estate for 5 minutes. So why not enjoy what you do, attract the people you want to work with? I mean, there is enough business to be done out there, right? Particularly in the New York tri-state area with all this density, we're spoiled, right? I mean, Thomas, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to piggyback. If you're comfortable, they'll be comfortable. I usually think it's as simple as that. I mean, if you trust yourself, they'll trust you. So, and that's really what you want, right? So I think, anything else that feels forced just will come off as feeling forced in a relationship. And that's ultimately what you don't want. It's about relationship building for agents. So, I think I don't want to dumb it down so far because I agree.
No, please. Honestly, I almost want to end the show.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, it's if you're confident and you're comfortable in your own skin, that is unbelievably attractive to many people.
Yeah. And
it's authentic, and you can't be somebody that you're not. You can't, because at some point they're going to know. They're going to know. We started talking about different platforms. So thank you. You didn't dumb it down. I think it's a great point, because we started talking about video a little bit, and we started talking about different platforms. Is there a platform that is your favorite, and why? Is there a platform that, if it is your favorite, what is happening on that platform right now that agents should know about? And can I really just walk around with a handheld video in an apartment, but with crappy lighting? Is that good enough? So let's kind of talk about those platforms, what's happening on those platforms right now that agents need to know about, and let's sprinkle in some thoughts about what video means to you. Whoever wants to jump in.
I can go ahead and start. I will say that TikTok is where it's at. I know that we see it as a Gen Z platform. All the teeny boppers are dancing and all that stuff. But no, believe it or not, there's so many different buckets within TikTok that the opportunities to share content are just endless. And it's actually funny because unlike Instagram, TikTok's algorithm works with you rather than against you. There's been several times in the under a year that I've been on TikTok personally, that I've gone viral for the most random videos. And I have friends who've gone viral as well. And it just serves as an opportunity for people to really see you, see the hard work you put in. And believe it or not, real estate is one of the most high performing topics on TikTok. People love just sort of like, think of HGTV. We love to, think about, oh, which house are they going to choose? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Or, oh, I wonder what price that, that listing is. This same thing applies to TikTok. Just sort of think of it as TV, but in a smaller, more personalized form. There's so many different pages out there, especially in the New York City market, that I've seen pop up on my algorithm, where they have millions and millions of views, millions of engagement, because people are so intrigued by what they are promoting. Whether you're touring the property or showing a before and after, or you just bought this house and you're renovating it, we love to see it. And I'm saying we because I'm one of them. We love it. So I know that video can be worry to people. You don't necessarily want to be in front of the camera, or you don't like your voice and you don't want people to hear it. There's ways and workarounds for that. But sort of what you said, Eric, I think when, pushing into the video direction, some things to keep in mind is lighting, of course. Turn the lights on in your property. A little ring light, you can get it for like under $5 from Amazon. Put it on your phone as you're showing it through. Or if you're doing a selfie, style, you can flip it around, focus it on you. I have a ring light right now. And then also sound. You can get really technical with the sound if you're speaking, or even if you add music in. There's different mics you can use, but even just a regular headset like this, can really take you a long way. So leveraging the stuff that you already have lying around your house can really make for incredible content. All you have to do is try.
Can I just stay in TikTok for 10 seconds? So what I'm hearing is, don't be turned off by the part of TikTok that you think, right, you're going to get sucked into, because that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, right? There's that part of every social media platform that you theoretically don't want to be a part of or dragged into. So that's number one. Number two, I want to almost give an example, and I don't want to put somebody on the spot, because what I'm hearing is, I could walk into an apartment, forget if it's my listing or not, maybe I'm just showing buyers and I want my buyers to see what this beautiful apartment looks like. I could literally give a quick tour and then take a quick poll. Tell me what you think. Is this $1.5 million, $2 million, or $2.5 million? I mean, it could be that simple, where you're doing literally just almost an introduction, right? Correct me if I'm wrong here, because that's what I'm hearing, right? Mm-hmm. Very little talking. Hey, everybody, check this out. Tell me what you think this gorgeous apartment's worth, and this beautiful view over Central Park. And a poll comes up for the engagement. It could be that simple.
Exactly. TikTok doesn't have polls just yet, but you can write text overlay. How much do you think this costs? Let me know in the comment section. Boom, you're done.
And you can apply that for other platforms too. So, for a lot of you, I'm sure TikTok might be a new channel to venture into. And I think
for us older folk, that's what you're saying. You're talking to me.
For me as well. So I'm a consumer of TikTok, but I am not a content creator on TikTok myself. And so for me, I'm most active, for example, on Instagram and LinkedIn. And I use those two platforms for different purposes. LinkedIn for me is where I do a lot of my business networking. And I think as a real estate agent, there will probably be people and clients that you have who are very active on LinkedIn who want to hear more about the market trends and the stats and a little bit more about your business credentials. And that's kind of like the platform that they're on. And it's easy to direct message them, to try to prospect them a little bit more, and that's perfectly fine. On Instagram, this is where you can share a little bit more about your personal interests or your personal life, and a little bit more of that fun video content that you would maybe film, that Tanae would film for TikTok. If you don't feel comfortable going on TikTok, you can film the same content and post it on Instagram, because Instagram right now is pretty flexible for both static images and video, even though they are going in that direction of more of that, video content. But just because they are doesn't mean you have to create super polished, super complex videos. Literally what Tanae said, walking into an apartment and just filming it for 5 seconds. that's enough, to be able to show people what's in there. And really, my perspective is the type of platform you should focus on is, number one, the type of platform you're most comfortable in, and number two, maybe most of your buyers, sellers are already on, and or who you want to attract would be on.
Thomas, favorite platform?
No, 100%.
Obviously, Tanae is in love with TikTok, so we got that.
No, I'm gonna signal boost today on TikTok for sure. TikTok is honestly, it is where it's at, and it's also where it's at because it's an emerging platform still. I mean, the audience is ripe. You're talking about a platform where like people haven't fully tapped it out. There's so much opportunity there, and also from a boosting perspective, which we can get into later. But I think the thing that I'll echo from Shelly is content doesn't just have to be video. So let's just throw that out there. Like, I think if you're just generally nervous about filming or just the aspect of filming, because it could be as easy as what Tanae is saying for sure and what we're saying, but that also could feel complicated. Remember that there's a whole room for content, what we call content marketing, which is written word. You can throw a blog article up on Medium. You can write a post on LinkedIn and you can share more information. Some people like to read and consume information that way. So that's still a relevant format. And then even if you post that link in your link in bio on your Instagram or put a post about it or swipe up on your IG stories or whatever, people can get to that content, that written content. And that still offers value. Sometimes it's almost like you're having the conversation, with the agent, but it's written down and it's 5 tips for negotiating your next deal or whatever the case might be. So I think there's still a lot of value in that, and just don't forget that. And otherwise, I would definitely echo what both of these ladies have said, because I agree.
Yeah, I think the written word is, we already know, a lost art form. And I've seen people get a tremendous amount of traction writing a quick, short, couple of paragraph article, on LinkedIn. Like you said, 5 tips for winning a bidding war. And that goes a long way. So even getting started someplace, feel like video's not for me, that's okay. Because once again, there's no reason to force it, right? Because when you're uncomfortable, once again, your audience is going to see that you are uncomfortable. So that goes back to being comfortable and being authentic. Little details about these platforms, little quick tips that you've been reading about lately. A bunch of you talked about IG Reels and how they're really promoting that. Can we just give a couple of quick rapid fire quick tips on any of these sites that the people listening need to know about?
Sure. One that comes top of mind to me is the fact that Instagram, allegedly, if they see that you have the TikTok overlay that's sort of embedded in video, they won't promote your reel as much when you share it to your reel. So there's actually this website called Snaptik, T-I-K. And if you share the link that you posted on TikTok, they can remove that overlay so it looks like a fresh video that you just uploaded directly to Reels. Very helpful.
Snaptik.
Yes.
I just learned something new. That's awesome. I'm using it.
Okay, so let's stay there for a second, because I know there's other platforms you could use to cross-platform share. So Snaptik, what other tools like that, since we're here, let's stay there and kind of check that box that agents should be aware of that they could use.
Yeah, I will say one more thing. I don't want to take over. Another great content, tool is called InShot. It's great for editing video. They allow you to, switch the dimensions of your video, whether it be, in a portrait size for Instagram or, TikTok length for your video. It also allows you to add music. You can import your own music. You can add the text overlay. You can basically edit your video without the functions of TikTok. I personally have been using it for the last year. I find it to be very user-friendly. And so if you're the type of person who just sort of wants to be outside of the platform editing stuff, definitely helpful.
Say that again, InShot?
InShot.
InShot.
Yep.
Awesome. Anything else from a tool perspective you want to add, Shelly or Thomas?
I have a different one, less about content and more about just logistics on your handle. So for instance, like everyone knows link in bio. hopefully. And Instagram, that's where, you can't post a link on your actual Instagram post, like in the copy, because it's not clickable, but you can direct people to your bio, and it's a nice little area where you can have a lot of information or a decent amount of information. And so instead of having to like switch out that link, and this may be basic, but having what we call like a clickable link to like a little small landing page somewhere where you can have multiple links, that's possible within Instagram. One of the platforms we use all the time is called Linktree. It's super simple. It's free. It's linktr.ee. So that's the website. And you can create a simple, like already branded, easy little mini landing page that, you can put all your different social media platforms up there. You can put your latest listings. It's super easy to maintain. You can turn links on and off. So just check it out. And then if that's your little link in your link in bio, when people click on it, they can get to everything about you. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to constantly change it. And it's a good marketing tool generally, especially for agents. Put up your listings if you have a landing page about yourself, or if you have that Medium article up, or whatever the case might be, or your other social media handles where you want people to see what you're doing. Just throw that in there, and you can always easily maintain it and edit it.
Spell that one more time for me.
Link LINK, and then tree.ee. That's the website. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to shift gears a little bit about engagement, right? It's not just about posting, right? Posting without engagement, I've heard, is, I don't want to say worthless. So could we talk a little bit about the work that people need to do versus just the posting they need to do? So could we talk a little bit about engagement? Could we talk about success? How do I measure success? Which I guess you can measure success with engagement. So who wants to kind of take it from there?
Tonight, I'm gonna defer to you.
I feel like I'm taking over.
Go for it.
I would say basing your success metrics simply off of likes and views anymore is a little old school, and we have to move away from that idea. It's really diving into the data of the true meat of what it means for your post or video to be successful. What if you shared a link? What is the click-through rate? How many people have clicked it? What's the percentage? How many impressions have you received? Which means that how many people have actually viewed the content, not necessarily liked it or left a comment, but they've just seen it. That's sort of how you know that your content is being seen and doing well. And then also, comments are such a significant metric over likes, because if people like your content, they're likely going to say loved it, or oh my god, yes, or something like that, rather than just liking. We can all like and scroll. That in today's age, that doesn't mean anything anymore. So really using those true meaty data points to determine how you are performing, what your audience is engaged with, can really help you to strategize how you want to move forward. If, let's say, Joke Thursday isn't performing that well and only gets 100 impressions, yet you have 30,000 followers, maybe that's something you can sunset and replace it with a different branded hashtag or theme or what have you. But I really think that looking at those meteor data points is truly an important factor in you strategizing how you want to move in the social media space.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, as a real estate agent, you measure success by how many, like the quality and the volume of clients who actually do business with you, right? Social media is one strategy, and it's a very important strategy, but there are also other strategies that you can be able to leverage. So, at the end of the day, you have to really think about, like Tanae touched upon a lot of different metrics. So a lot of times people are very maybe hyper-focused on how many followers does one get, because that's kind of like it makes me look important if I have 10,000 followers. Or sometimes people are maybe obsessed about like, what is my engagement rate per post? All of those I would say are important, but ultimately you can succeed in all these metrics and still get no clients. Obviously that's not very likely, but the ultimate goal is for you to grow your audience of clients, right? So I think what the bottom line is really looking at things holistically and being able to evolve your content and listening to your audience. Oh, hey, people really like and commented on this post. I should do more of that. And that's kind of what is going to make sure that you connect more with your audience.
I want to stay there for 10 seconds and just make a quick comment. See, someone may hear that and be like, you see, look what Shelly just said, right? I could do all this and get nothing. See, I knew it was a waste of time.
It's not.
But it's not necessarily true, right? It's so impossible to measure certain aspects of it, right? You may be working with a buyer today. And the reason they're loyal to you, you already may have them as a buyer, but the reason they're only working with you and loyal to you is because they're following you on social and you're putting out great content. And you've given them so much information that there's no reason for them to work with another broker. Mm-hmm. So you just don't know the effect of the content you're putting out there in each and every engagement. So just because Shelly said that, you're like, that wasn't a proof of it's a waste of time at all.
Yeah, just want to clarify, I was trying to be a little bit provocative in terms of, making sure you guys don't obsess over one single metric. And so the point here is, number one, consistency, making sure that you're active and that you're posting regularly, because at the end of the day, social media serves a lot of purposes, but two of the major purposes is, one, it serves as kind of like your storefront. So when people see, oh, hey, who's Eric Barron? They're going to search for you on social media and they're going to check you out on, whatever you're live on, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. And it doesn't, I think it matters less how many platforms you're on. And it matters more, what kind of content consistently you're putting out on each platform, because then that's how they get to know you, without really knowing you, for 5 years. That's a little bit of how they kind of get a snippet of who Eric Barron is.
Can we say that 1 second? Say that with the word consistent, just even rapid fire. What is, because everyone, people are struggling with consistency. What does consistency mean? Every day, 3 times a day, once a week? I mean, but give me some baseline and some framework of what consistency means.
Yeah, would love Thomas to speak to this from best practice.
Yeah, I think again, go back to what you are good at and what you want to create off of those 3 pillars or whatever content strategy you put forth. If you're committing to 1 post a week, post that 1 post a week. The post can change, the content of it can change, obviously the topic can change, but if you're going to post once a week, post once a week. That's what consistency is.
Okay, but if you're going to post once a week, should it be the same day and same time?
It doesn't have to be. That can be a good practice as a baseline. I think that's helpful. Set an alarm, know that you're going to post, if you're that kind of person, which is helpful sometimes, I'm that kind of person, I have an alarm for when I know that I'm going to post a certain post. I crafted the day before, I have it ready, and I post it. I think that's a great way to do it if that's helpful for you. If that gives you anxiety, don't do it. Post on a different day if that's easier for you. But sometimes having your theme related to a day with social media helps because it keeps you consistent. So you're posting on a Wednesday, keep posting on that Wednesday. You're going live on a Friday, go live on Friday. But as far as quantity, I believe in quality over quantity any day.
So that was I'm hearing this, I'm like, wow, that was a very chill answer, right? It really was very chill on consistency, because people are so regimented, right? Like, you need to do it at least or don't bother. So you're saying that's not true.
That's not true ultimately, because the truth is, not to drop a bomb at 5 minutes, but people will see roughly, I think they say now, at least on Instagram, this is not for TikTok because Tanae's right, TikTok goes with you, about 20% of the content that they're meant to see on Instagram because of the algorithm. So, visibility, ultimately, hashtags will help. We could talk about boosting in a second, that helps too. But there's a little less worry there if you think about it, because not everyone is going to see your content. So you can relax a little bit in a sense, because not everyone is going to see it. So therefore, ultimately, you're throwing it out there into the world. There's a little bit of hope and prayer that goes along with it. And obviously, can be proactive engagement and reaching out and sharing it with people. But release some of that pressure, I think, is always important, because it's paralysis by analysis, right? Otherwise, you're just sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? If you simplify it, if you actually make it a little bit more of a chill thing, it becomes more easy to overcome.
Okay, you ready? So we got 4 minutes rapid fire on a number of different topics. I hear this, I need to boost my content. Boost, not boost, why? And literally, if you're going to hop in here, give me 20 seconds.
Yeah, so real quick, promoting content, super important. It's what my agency does. $10 can go a long way. You don't have to post a lot. You don't have to boost a lot. Make sure that you have a business profile instead of a personal profile. And then you'll see that little promote button pop up. Put in your card, set up an audience. You can set up the audience very simply, age, demo, geo, and then you can use that same audience over and over again, and you don't ever have to update it. And just promote with $10 per post, or you promote your listings, done, you're good.
Any boost comment or the next question? Tanae, Shelley, moving on.
Agreed.
I need to grow my audience. It's embarrassing. I have 300 followers. Talk quick tips for growing audience. Does it matter? Does it not matter? Someone jump in on that.
Posting consistently is what's going to help you grow your audience. And sort of going back to what we just said, each platform will let you know based on the algorithm when your audience is online. So use that to determine when to post as well. But consistency is ultimately key.
I was going to say, find 20 minutes a week to comment on other handles. So comment on your competitors' handles, comment on other brokerages, just something simple, drop a like. We call it proactive engagement instead of passive engagement. If you reach out and if you share content with people, they'll also then come back to you. So make sure that you're engaging with people that way. You don't have to do a lot of it. It doesn't have to be every day, but if you can find a solid 20 minutes of your day to just go through and, comment through, look at hashtags and comment on those posts, people will find you and they'll come back to you.
Join the conversation.
Join the conversation.
And have an opinion.
Same with your clients. So not just like professional handles, but for your clients, that's how you get seen by the algorithm, by commenting on their posts. And then they think, oh, cool, Thomas commented. Let me check out what he's been doing lately. And they'll click on you, and then you'll appear more in their feed.
Resources. Any tips for resources? Somebody I should follow, a book I should read, a TED Talk I should listen to? Anybody have something they love that they would love to share that's informative to our audience as it relates to social media?
I'd say from an Instagram perspective, later.com has a plethora of articles on their blog about how to better be strategic on Instagram. So definitely check them out.
Say that one more time, leader.com?
Later, Later. And they also have a scheduling tool as well if you need it.
Interesting. Later.com. Resources? A favorite? Thomas, Shelley?
Later is my favorite too. Another
Really?
one that's a little bit, yeah, honestly, it's my favorite. I'm very familiar with that one. But another one that's a little bit more technical sometimes, but still great, is Sprout Social. So Sprout, SPROUT, social.com. They also similarly have a lot of articles, a lot of information. Most of the social tools that are out there, they have a decent amount of similar information. I think Later is probably the most user-friendly.
Yeah, I have a good friend who works at Sprout Social. There's a bunch of others, so I think maybe what we can do is we can follow up with a list of different tools and resources for the audience.
Final thought as we go a minute over. Just if someone remembers only one thing from today's session, what should they remember? Tanae.
Consistency is key.
Okay. Shelley.
Don't be afraid to get started.
Thomas.
Write down 3 things that you like about your brand and start there.
And I guess my tip is going to be forgiveness. We are imperfect human beings. You're going to have highs and lows until you get a rhythm of how you do this. So please forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much. If you miss a week or 2, doesn't mean you should stop. It's okay. So just do it, right? Just put yourself out there. People want to know who they're working with, how knowledgeable you are, and whether you like it or not, they want to know more about you and your personal life, if and how much you're willing to share. So These three wonderful human beings, I can't thank you enough. If you want to connect with any of us, I believe, we're going to put that in the chat. Are we going to do that, Shelley? We talked about, oh, there we go. I see someone posted that. So if anybody wants to connect with us, I think all of us gave us our LinkedIn profiles. So please connect with us, reach out, ask any questions that we didn't have a chance to cover today. Tanae, Shelley, Thomas, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that joined us today and took an hour out of their day. We hope we provided value. We look forward to doing this again, and happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.